21 richest countries in the world. 21. Austria. This destination has a population of about 8.7 million people. With it being in the perfect proximity to Germany, it makes it an excellent market for steel, iron, and agricultural products. The capital city of Austria is Vienna, and Vienna is the fifth most abundant metropolis in Europe behind Hamburg, London, and Brussels. Austria is known as one of the highest standards of living among all the economies in the world. It is also a significant tourist destination, mainly because of the Alps mountain range to the west and south. Today, Austria is a member of several organizations, such as the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Number 20. Iceland. Iceland has a great economy and an unemployment rate below 3%. Iceland is a Nordic island nation. It's most popular for its dramatic landscapes and volcanoes, hot springs, and lava fields. In 2012, the life expectancy here was 82 years old. The economy is small here because it's not that big of a place and doesn't have a vast population. There are only little more than 330,000 people living here. It has a mixed economy with high levels of government intervention and free trade. Iceland does some things different than the rest of the world because it is such a unique place. The primary source of power and mechanical energy is geothermal power. Number 19. Germany. It has a population of a little more than 81 million people. It is the most populated nation in the European Union. It possesses one of the largest economies in the world. The economy here is entirely based on exports. Its economy is one of the largest in the world and is also one of the globe's leading importers and exporters. Telecommunications, tourism, and healthcare are all great contributors to the economy. The majority of the population are ethnic German, with Turks. Germany is one of the world's most popular migration destinations, which makes sense because they produce some of the world's leading figures when it comes to natural social sciences, as well as the arts. Germany holds some very popular festivals, the most notable being the yearly Oktoberfest. Number 18. Australia. Australians have had the highest median wealth in the world for 5 years. The wealthiest 10% of people share only 50 to 60% of the nation's capital. Considering there are just 22 million people living in Australia, the ranking is pretty impressive. Australia makes up 4% of the world's millionaires, with over 1 million people falling into the high-class category. This country is also very rich in minerals such as aluminum, gold, nickel, diamonds, silver, and natural gas. They are also one of the largest food producers in the world, and the food is almost entirely based on local products. Number 17. Sweden. The Kingdom of Sweden is one of the largest countries in the European Union by land mass. Capital city Stockholm was claimed in the 16th century, and border through the Middle Ages established the modern-day nation. For centuries, Sweden has remained neutral in times of war. Their commitment to human rights and public service, it has helped to make it a respected leader in international affairs. There are plenty of generous people in Sweden. They donate 1% of gross national product to humanitarian aid programs each year. They have a population of almost 10 million people. In 1995, Sweden joined the European Union but refused to convert to the Eurozone currency after a public vote in 2003. Number 16. Bahrain. Located off the east coast of Saudi Arabia, a collection of a few dozen small islands make up the Kingdom of Bahrain. It is one of 7 Arab estates that border the Persian Gulf. This unique place is known for the water surrounding it. Its name means the two seas. In 1932, it was the first place to discover oil off of its shores in the Persian Gulf. Number 15. The Netherlands. With a per capita GDP of $50,898 and 16.8 million people living in this country, the Dutch are way more than just a tulip country. Most of its success comes from 3 major things: agriculture, mining, and manufacturing. Many people aren't aware that the Netherlands is actually a kingdom of 4 countries, but the Netherlands make up 98% of the total land area in the kingdom. Number 14. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia possesses 18% of the world's petroleum reserves and ranks as the largest exporter of petroleum. Saudi Arabia is just one of many oil-based economies. The petroleum sector is responsible for almost all of Saudi government revenues and export earnings. Other than owning the largest petroleum reserves in the world, its per capita income is much smaller than that of the smaller Persian Gulf neighbors. Number 13. United States. Although most nations on this list have smaller populations, the United States is home to more than 325 million people. A key reason behind its success is due to its large domestic automotive industry, a system of democracy that helps protect entrepreneurial property rights, and last but not least, a great technological sector that fosters innovation. It is also in the middle of the longest economic expansion since 1850. The United States has also had unemployment rates remain low while growth driven by spending and investment have the country's economy. Number 12. Hong Kong. Hong Kong's growth rate has slowed down in 2016, but it remains as one of the wealthiest countries in the world. It's the 5th richest country in the world and is located on the southern coast of China. A reduction in tourism and global trade from mainland China led to lower growth last year. Although spending is expected to lead Hong Kong's growth rate, it has picked up this year and is expected to rise. Something very interesting about Hong Kong is that they have their own currency, but the Armed Defense Service are provided by China. Currently, the territory has a population of more than 7 million. Number 11. Switzerland. There are 8 million people living in this country. Switzerland was recovering after its central bank loss of $52 billion back in 2015. It has been reported that the country's growth reached 1.5% in 2016. Switzerland has also been implementing policies to boost its economic recovery. Traditionally, Switzerland is at the top of the global list, but was bumped down by the U.S. in the reporter's ranking of net per capita financial assets. Number 10. San Marino. This country has nearly 9 million people that live here. It is currently in recovery mode as unemployment rates continue to rise and domestic and external demand are helping to lead the growth in San Marino's GDP after a recession. Their current per capita is $60,360. Number 9. United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates stands as one of the richest countries in the world, with a high economy pushed by the oil market. Lower oil prices and output led to a lack of growth for the country in 2016. Although non-oil growth in the United Arab Emirates is expected to rise in the future years, it is also the 3rd largest country in the Middle East. This unique place has a population of just over 10 million people. Number 8. Norway. This nation has a population of 4.97 million people to benefit from the small yet robust economy. This beautiful place is driven by fishing, natural resources, and major petroleum exploration. Norway is also the 8th largest exporter of crude oil in the world and the 9th largest exporter of refined oil and 3rd largest exporter of natural gas in the entire world. The GDP and population ratio makes this country one of the wealthiest nations on the planet. Number 7. Ireland. Ireland has a population of about 4.8 million people. The leading industries that boost its economy are mining, textiles, and food staple products. Ireland has by far the lowest standard rate of corporation tax and manufacturing among the advanced economies. Their recovery in 2014 was the strongest in the Euro area and similar across the two measures with growth rates of GDP and GNP, with 5% of domestic demand was a solid contributor to economic growth. Number 6. Kuwait. Kuwait is kind of small and relatively open economy. The Kuwait dinar currently has the highest valued currency unit in the entire world. It has nearly 10% of the world's oil reserves. Also, the petroleum accounts for nearly half of GDP and 95% of export revenues as well as government income. In recent years, they haven't done much to diversify its economy due to a positive fiscal situation. Number 5. Brunei. This is a small country with a wealthy economy that is both a mixture of foreign and domestic entrepreneurship, welfare measures, and government regulation, and is almost entirely supported by exports of crude oil and natural gas. Just like other oil countries, the government has shown progress in diversifying the economy away from only oil and gas. Number 4. Singapore. This tiny city-state has a per capita of $87,856. This is 5 times the average income for an ordinary individual in the world. The main part of the country's wealth is its financial services sector, its liberal economic policies, and a chemical export industry. Singapore has the 2nd busiest port in the entire world. It exports $414 billion worth of goods almost every year. Singapore is a favorite tourist spot because it consists of 63 islands. Number 3. Macau. This is the gambling center of China. It is the only place in China where gambling is legal. Casino bosses are investing in high-end shopping malls, lavish hotels, and fancy performance shows because the region is trying to diversify it into a more family-friendly tourist destination. They have more than 30 casinos, including the world's largest one, the Venetian, which had a whopping 120,000 visitors a day in 2013. This country is benefiting from the many middle classes in China as the wealth and influence continue to rise. Around 17 million tourists from mainland China visited Macau last year. Almost half of all the visitors this area gets, most of them only stay for 24 hours. Number 2. Luxembourg. This country is a symbol of wealth due to its per capita of $105,882, which is 9 times the world average. The backbone of the strong economy this country has is its financial sector. It has dynamic industrial and steel industries. The most massive sector in Luxembourg is the banking. It is the largest sector of its economy with an asset of over $1.24 trillion alone. A fun fact about this unique place is that it is known as a tax haven. Many people want to live here to get rid of expensive tax in their native countries. Number 1. Qatar. Qatar ranks number 1 on the list of richest nations in the world because of its high GDP per capita, which is $127,523. This economy has a very well-developed oil exploration industry, and the petroleum industry accounts for 70% of its government revenue, 60% of its GDP, and 85% of its export earnings. Because of the country's wealth and economic success, it has been chosen to be the host of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. This will be the first Arab nation to ever hold this event. Qatar is the most controversial country because of its forced labor from countries throughout Asia and parts of Africa.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.